Hey you! Have you ever wanted to become the world's greatest archer without actually putting any effort into learning how to fire a bow accurately? Well, I can't help you with that in real life, but I can help you with that in Age of Wonders 4. That's right, because as it turns out, archer accuracy in Age of Wonders 4 is ultimately about as meaningless as the points in whose line is it anyway. After all, why focus on accuracy when you can just force the game to give you guaranteed good luck instead? You see, Age of Wonders 4 has a critical hit mechanic, which gives your units a percentage-based chance of doing bonus damage to their target. On the surface, this seems perfectly normal as far as video games go, until you realize that, at least in the current build of the game, there are two mechanics surrounding critical hits which make them exceedingly powerful for ranged attackers. First, the game checks to see whether a ranged attacker scored a critical hit before checking to see if they actually hit the target at all. And second, critical hits never miss. Some of you might already see where this is going. So without further delay, let's dive right into a new game of Age of Wonders 4. So as for the realm settings, I'm just going to be leaving this as a mostly standard game. Let's set it to a land map. We're going to set the start distance to far. Players, we'll drop it down to 6 maybe, so it's going to be a fairly big map with only 6 players. Difficulty, of course, we want to crank that up to brutal. I'm going to go over to the factions here. We're going to make this a free-for-all game. We're going to do Team 1 is me, 2, 3, and we'll just set everyone on separate teams. This is going to effectively guarantee that everyone is always at war with each other, and I do want this game to end in glorious combat. I'll hop into game flow here for a minute. We're going to make sure the world threat is set to high. Now for victory conditions, we're going to actually turn off score. We're also going to disable magic victory and expansion. Hero resurgence is going to be never, and over in combat, we're going to want to probably, I'm just going to turn off enable combat restart. We'll leave enable combat retry. Now in Age of Wonders 4, this setting allows you to retry combat, it seems, as many times as you want, from what I can tell, unless I am overlooking something. So I am going to leave that on as always. The main thing is that there will be a self-imposed rule. I cannot retry combat unless I do an auto combat and I don't like the result and I want to do it manually. Aside from that, no redos. This is a Iron Man mode. So I actually already have my leader all pretty much set up and ready to go, but I wanted to stop in here for a second and talk about some of the options. We've got a body trait. Normally, if you were picking a archer civ, like what I did when I first came in here, I saw keen-sighted and was like, well, that makes logical sense, plus 20% accuracy on physical range and magic attack. However, for this archer build game, we are not picking keen-sighted. It's not really important. We're going to go with strong instead. You could probably do really any of these that you want, but I think that since I am planning to focus on critical hit shenanigans, strong makes sense as it increases my base damage, and critical hits multiply off of that. For the second trait, though, this one is very important. You're going to want overwhelm tactics. That's going to get you 20% crit right away, just for standing next to another unit of your own race. As far as culture goes, I'll be playing as high culture. We'll talk more about that as I get into the game. Society traits, there's a couple options in here. I'm going to go with Fabled Hunters and Runesmiths, primarily because I find that Fabled Hunters works well for an archery-focused build, but perhaps more importantly, it gives you a little bit of nature income early in the game, which will help you expand quickly. Nature Empire upgrades have quite a few nice perks to them. And then the other one, definitely want Runesmiths. So this will be very heavy enchanting build. So Runesmiths for that discount on unit enchantments, going to be very, very important. Plus, the extra shield unit or polearm unit that you start with is pretty handy. Honorable mention here, though, if you're playing as High Culture and you want to remain pure neutral to get the bonus that High Culture gets for its alignment agenda, which you can see here. You want to be pure good, pure neutral, or pure evil. The trick with High Culture is it starts you out with plus 10 alignment. So you actually are not pure neutral by the start of the game. But if you wanted to, you could pick Ritual Cannibals. This is another pretty solid choice for High Culture because it puts you straight into neutral at the start of the game, plus gives you extra mana and food for killing units near your cities. Now, as for my leader herself, as you can see, we're playing as Agatha the Kind. This is a nice lady that was adopted by the orcs at a young age. She was a educated young girl who got lost. The orcs sort of adopted her into their family. She taught the orcs language and culture, allowing them to achieve high culture from their former barbarian status. And the orcs taught her how to wield a giant freaking axe. Will be Empress, and I think that's pretty much it. Let's go onward, jump into the game, and see what kind of starting location we get. Alright everybody, welcome to the game. We have just spawned in to our Throne City here. As you can see, there's my leader. We've got a recap of all of our setup here. Strong orcs with overwhelm tactics. Went with high culture, fabled hunters, and runesmiths. So let's just jump right into the game. I'll be kind of explaining my thought process as I go for this build, but I do want to clarify this is a very long-term build. There are a couple of other really powerful early game options. If you went with spider mounts for your body trait or your physical trait for your race, and then went ahead and paired that with like a barbarian culture with like the fury archers, they would be mounted archers. You could pair that with animal kinship for a little extra critical hit damage, and spider mounts in this game are generally quite overpowered. But this build right now is much of a longer term build, so there actually won't be that big of a focus on archery very early on. But I'll be kind of clarifying and explaining my thought process as we go. For now, we have selected our first tome. We've got the Tome of Enchantment. So I want to go ahead and pick a research. Two very good options here to start out with. I could spend mana to lock one of them, but I actually don't think I'm going to really need to. Part of the reason that I picked Tome of Enchantment first is because I want to get those Seeker Arrows, or actually not just the Seeker Arrows, Sundering Blades, the shield buff. There's a lot of really good buffs in Tome of Enchantment, and I kind of want to get them all. As you pick up more tomes, it makes it less likely that you're going to see the things in here that you want, excuse me, without shuffling research. So I'm actually just going to pick Seeker Arrows. I do want Sundering Blades, but I'm not going to lock it because there's just not a lot of things or options for me to research right now, so it'll probably pop up again. And then here we go. We've got a scout and Agatha and her main army. Nothing too powerful, nothing too crazy. World difficulty is at brutal, so these structures are going to start getting very difficult to clear very quickly. I want to try to take out as many of them early on as I can, but I also want to keep an eye out for possible resource pickups. So there's some knowledge over here. There's actually more knowledge over there, so a lot of free knowledge sitting around me. And then, let's see, I don't see anything else in the immediate area. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and focus first and foremost on growing my city, getting that storehouse, and trying to grow and get bigger. I'm going to probably pick up another Dusk Hunter, although as of right now I don't have anything in particular that gives me a huge bonus for these guys other than the extra starting rank. Dawn Defender is also a solid idea, but we'll get one more Dusk Hunter. Actually, scratch that. We're going to get a Light Seeker, and the reason we're getting a Light Seeker is because scouting in the early game is very, very, very important. Now, the way I've set up my affinities, and I can't click on this right now to show you, but I want to try to get the first Nature Affinity and first Materium Affinity upgrades as soon as I possibly can, because those are going to help me found outposts cheaper that start with more population. Great for early game expansion. Now at the very beginning here, I probably do need that scout to assist with at least a starting battle or two. What you can do is conserve some movement. I'm going to just ignore the knowledge for now. I can pick it up later, don't need it at the moment. I'm going to conserve as much movement for Agatha's army as I can and use the scout to actually launch these battles while preparing to set out and explore. Although it doesn't look like there's much down here. I appear to be at the bottom of the map. Yeah, I am at the bottom of the map, so nothing really important for me to explore down there. Probably better off to stick to the roads and meet my vassal city. So I will send this scout after launching this battle up and run to the east. That road may end with that No, it doesn't. You can see the road carries on after that underground passage. Also, there's an infestation over here, so going this way first, probably a good choice to go ahead and clear that infestation out. We'll just start off with a safe battle right here. I'm going to be autoing quite a few battles in this game. as many as I can probably, particularly in the mid to late game. But for the moment, let's do a manual combat and just get familiar with my strategy here with Agatha and her orcs. Now, I find that having a shock unit or a hero with a shock attack, whether a mounted unit with a lance or Agatha here with her giant freaking battle axe, good options. Good options for high culture in particular, because high culture doesn't actually have any shock units. So I'm going to move my guys forward. Oh, I actually do have a spearman. Okay, I misread that when I first spawned in. I thought that was a shield guy, so good to have a little more variety. That tier 2 unit there definitely is a massive help. We'll move the archers and Agatha up. It looks like these guys have sort of split off from the rest of the group, although they could easily come back. And we'll do this. So I don't know if I'm going to need or want to cast mana spells too early. I probably want to avoid taking a lot of damage on my troops if possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch up my formation here. I'm going to move these guys back just by one. I'll move Agatha around to the side so she can circle around if she needs to. And then, let's see, I'll put her here. I'll leave the spears here. It looks like they want to funnel through this area, and I'll put Agatha here. I will go ahead and cast a spell, Awaken Inner Radiance, and this is why I kind of like playing High Culture for Archer builds. As good as the Barbarian Rush strategy is with what I'm doing, awakening your units, particularly your archers, grants them an extra range. You can see now I can actually reach out and hit those guys, whereas I could not do so before. So I can't guarantee I will make these hits, but I do at least, because of Overwhelm tactics, have a base 20% critical chance. So also, Seeking Missiles makes my base accuracy a little bit higher too. So I did manage to land 3 full hits on that guy, and I probably will go ahead and just target the same one again, try to really lower him down so he just can't do very much damage at all. The next thing that I want to do is make sure that Agatha is not within range of this guy. She is not. She could run around and get him if she needs to. I don't know that that'll be necessary, though. As a matter of fact, if he wants to charge her, I suppose that's fine, but I actually think we're going to be okay here. I'm going to leave my setup the way it is. Once these guys charge in, Agatha can run around and maybe land a hit on somebody in the back. So let's just end the turn. I think they will probably all funnel towards the middle. Okay, the archer wants to take a couple little pot shots at Agatha. That's fine. Now, as soon as I can, I'm going to be picking up Sprint for Agatha. That's a fantastic upgrade for a shock unit. But we'll have to wait on that for a minute. So my shield managed to get his defense up, and all the enemies attacked the shield for some reason. I actually don't think that was particularly wise of them. We'll use that archer to whittle down that pikeman a little bit. It's pretty much guaranteed hits there. And probably could finish that one off. I wonder if whether... Yeah, shield guy could probably go ahead and finish that guy off, I think. And then we can finish this guy off with the archer. And then move the pikeman to go bother the horse. In fact, bother him severely by nearly killing him. As a matter of fact, Agatha's got that one covered, I think. Oh yeah, there she goes. And just like that, Agatha somehow 2 shots, 2 guys on horses with a giant, one single swing from one giant battle axe. And we've achieved a victory with very little damage, so that's a very good start. Got ourselves some extra mana. That extra mana is actually quite handy early in the game. As soon as those enchantments start becoming available, we'll be wanting to cast a lot of that. So Agatha probably should go this way, I think. We're going to... Yeah, the scout is out of movement, so I'm just going to run Agatha this way. Now, when this other scout is done, I will most likely send them the other way, because if I don't... Generally speaking, when you start the game, it seems like the city-state that starts near you... I'm going to call them city-states. They're technically called free cities, but I'm used to playing Civ so much. So the free cities that start near you... normally follow the roads, one way or the other. So I'm going to be following this eastern road with Agatha's army because that leads through an infestation spawner that I can clear out, and the other scout will go the other way. Let's make sure I've got all the production set up for my starting city. Looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and end the turn. Now, unfortunately, the way I'm set up, I cannot boost that building that I'm creating in my city, the granary, or the storehouse on the first turn. But what I can do is on the very second turn of the game, I can spend some Imperium to grow my city and probably grab a forester right here, which is going to produce production of that storehouse, and also grab me some sheep, which is really good. That's going to drastically increase the growth rate in my capital, which is something I really like to prioritize early in the game. And you could actually do that again on the next turn too, if you feel like it. I primarily wanted to use it to get that boost as quickly as I could, though. As you can see, there's also another mana stash over there, so that's pretty nice too. We'll send the scout up ahead. They do have a further line of sight than my other units do. So let's go here and here. We'll end up just outside of the borders. Oh, there's my second city. The Lucky Orcs, so that is my race. Salutations, Empress Agatha the Kind. They are the Lucky Orcs, right? Yeah, they're the Lucky Orcs. We'll just say Inspect Arcadia. I'm going to go ahead and give them my Whispering Stone right away and start working on my relationship with them. Now, it is totally worth getting another Whispering Stone as soon as you can to keep it in your own city. It works particularly well for High Culture's alignment agenda if I can manage to get to neutral, which is where I want to be, and stay neutral. I should probably clarify what I was talking about when I was referencing that. So we'll run over here and talk about culture for a second. Or maybe it's high. We'll talk about alignment. I know I can find it in there. Unfortunately, this isn't particularly I find this encyclopedia, the way it's set up. I like the Tome of Wonders and Age of Wonders 3 a little better than this, but I digress. Alignment agenda. Pure good, plus 25% or plus 25 flat, city stability in all cities. Neutral, 10 food and 10 production per city stability level above neutral in all cities. So if you stay neutral but focus on making your people really happy, you can grow your cities quite a bit. That maxes out at city stability, maxes out at basically level 3 there. You can see they're stable, orderly, and harmony. So if you can get it above 80, you're pulling in plus 30 food and plus 30 production in any cities that have that much morale, that are in harmony. That's a lot. That's a lot of extra growth. So I kind of like to target neutral. I find pure good to be extremely difficult to get, and pure evil often just doesn't fit with my playstyle, although I do really like the bonus because units start combat in an awakened state. That is really nice because then you don't have to manually awaken your archers. They just come awakened as they are. I will move the scout forward one more space so that we can see. It looks like a haunted graveyard over there. If I can get to it pretty dang quickly, it shouldn't be a problem. Now that is scary. I cannot clear that anytime soon. I find these magic nodes when you're playing on brutal world difficulty to be absolutely terrifying until you can really level up. But yeah, we're looking at a couple of tier 3 units. This dude's got friggin' angel form already. Yeah, we don't want to mess with these guys yet. So I'm going to just move Agatha's army forward. We'll be pretty bold about this and just go charging right in. The scout will be right there to help us out. This early in the game should be okay to clear one of these. And you want to clear them fast because they can become a real nuisance real quickly. So I'll just check my city and my turn. And I really do want to get Agatha that level as soon as I can get it to her, because having sprint will be very, very handy for her. I'm going to close that. The other thing that you want to get pretty early, in my opinion, is the leader experience buff. I actually might get that one first, the one that provides experience for other units in your army. Oh, that is not something we can handle. Holy crap, that is scary. Okay, well, instead of that, since we've come all the way over here, we're going to grab some food and hopefully increase city size again. So we'll try to make this trip worth it. But yeah, I'm going to need... That is a freaking bone dragon. We are not going to be fighting that anytime soon. Plus multiple bone wyverns and those guys. It's a good thing the units on the center piece don't seem to come out to attack you. It's just the extra armies they spawn around. So Agatha's army is at least safe from the bone dragon at the moment, as long as I don't get within that 3-tile range where it would get pulled into the battle. So yeah, let's go up here instead, because that's terrifying. Agatha, maybe we can get a little XP from clearing this structure. Looks like there's a few copper golems on it. Nothing too scary. That does look like something we could easily handle. I am going to try to see if I could pick up the food and launch that battle on the same turn. If I can't, well, I can always pick up the food later. So let's launch the battle first so that Agatha's army can start moving on to do something else. We'll run another manual combat here. At the very least, this is going to be getting me more mana, and the really nice thing about picking Fabled Hunters is as I'm clearing these things, I'm actually getting plus 100% rewards from the pickups at these sites. It's actually incredible. It's a very, very nice economic buff. If I look Lucky Orcs, you can see Fabled Hunters right there. Gain 100% more resources from clearing infestations, ancient wonders, or resource nodes. That is awesome. That is a lot of extra stuff that you get just from clearing structures, which you're going to be doing anyway, making Fabled Hunters a really solid economic buff. Like I said, Ritual Cannibals, great for getting your morale to that like base neutral level, but my gosh, Fabled Hunters is really, really good, and the Nature Affinity is also really good. It looks like I've effectively started this battle in more or less the same setup as the last time, so I'm going to do this again. Maybe it's slightly different. It looks like the shape of that rock may be just a little bit different. I'm going to, let's see, we'll move Agatha here. It looks like this guy wants to move around this side, which is fine. I'm going to move Agatha here. We've got all that extra mana, so let's use it. Awaken Tactics, make sure I can get that extra range on these guys, and start pestering those pikemen. Got a graze in there, but that's perfectly fine. This guy's going to run around and maybe cause a little bit of trouble for Agatha, so I'm going to let's do something a little different this time. We'll soften both of these guys up a little bit. Spread out the damage. Oh, there we go. We got a critical hit to trigger. That is really, really good. Now, what I'm going to do here, this guy is running around the side. Agatha is a shock unit, and he's a pike. So Agatha is not going to be very good against that character. What I can do, however, is swap places with a couple people. Now, this guy cannot actually... What I would like to do is goad this guy into attacking the shield. These two over here cannot reach... Oh, wait, they actually can reach my archers. Okay, so change of plans. You're going to back up there. You're going to back up here, and we're just going to defend. That way I'm giving the shield bonus to both of these units. Now, I don't necessarily want that pike to hit Agatha here because the archer might have trouble supporting. So instead, we'll just leave him alone for now, and he can get to me whenever he's good and ready. So those guys are going to come in, poke the shield boys. Shield boys really don't care. Did very little damage, and they're going to stab the spears, which, because both units have first strike, it pretty much plays out just like a normal melee attack. Okay, good. I was hoping these guys would continue around in this direction. That is what I wanted. So for the spear, let's see, I'd take 2 retaliation from those guys. What I think I want to do is go ahead and poke this guy to death to give this archer a nice clear line of fire on him. Actually, it doesn't look like it's particularly clear. Let's look at the... If you hold down control, you can see more details on the shot. Ah, he has wind barrier. Okay, that would be a problem. So what we'll do is we'll use that archer instead to shoot this guy, kill him, and then we don't have to worry about wind barrier. That was another critical hit right there. Now, unfortunately for Agatha, this means the spearman is going to be a bit of a problem for her because I would well, actually, you know what? I don't need to actually worry about this guy because he basically has to go through the spearman. So I actually can just move these guys here. Oh, even better. Move up and keep Agatha where she's at with that overwhelm tactics, but let these guys fight the pikemen. Shields are quite a bit better versus pikes. They do get that first strike in, but then we get 3 hits. Well, 2, because we moved 1 space. And this allows Agatha to move up and actually deal a nice, big, meaty chunk of damage to this elemental here. We're going to go ahead and do that to kind of protect my other units from him. And then I can, in fact, shoot this guy. I may have had a better line of sight if I was paying a little closer attention to the fact that that archer could still move, but that's okay. We're going to move him here. Make sure we get that 100%. We can't rely on crits fully just yet, but we'll soften him up, and that'll hopefully help him do less damage to our shield guys. And I think that's it. The only other unit that can still act would be, the Light Seeker. Oh yeah, I forgot my scout is down here. I've actually forgotten he was in both battles. Poor guy. He's just not relevant enough, I guess. If those guys move, let's see. Could I get to within where I could do decent damage of this guy? Because I don't want them coming out and poking the Light Seeker, although they will do very little damage to him, so I guess that would be fine. We'll do that. So he's going to punch Agatha a few times. She'll hack him back pretty good. Now, that is... He's taken some damage in casualties, so his damage output will be lessened a little bit. And the pikes are just going to poke at those shields. They're now doing 1 damage a hit because they are so beat up. Agatha can easily finish this guy off. Nice big chop there. There we go. Giving everyone a morale bonus. Now that I've got that morale bonus, we're going to take a look here. Critical chance is now 40%. You can see that has gone up because the unit has high morale. High morale is granting a 20% critical hit chance bonus. That is not too shabby just for a morale buff and another buff that I get just from standing next to another unit of my own race. Really, really nice. We'll go ahead and finish them off so we don't take any damage from those nasty pikes. And that's another victory. Ring of Resistance. Okay, Agatha hasn't gotten an item yet, so that's always good to pick up. Let's go ahead and give that to her now before we forget. And she has also leveled up. So first let's get her that ring before I forget to put that on, and let's get her level. So this is always a difficult choice for me. I find Sprint to be so incredibly powerful for a shock unit, especially one that's on foot, that I almost always want to take that. But I do think it is probably worth, since she is leading the army, go ahead and get that experienced leader. I find that to be a very, very good buff to get right away for your army and start getting that free XP in. Legendary medal ranks in this game are really, really good. For archers, they actually add an extra range, which is incredible. So I will go ahead and get experienced leader first, but after that, I think Sprint will be the next one that I take. The reason that I want to get experienced leader first is that it's one of those things that you want active as soon as possible to get the maximum benefit out of it. Because as of right now, my units are all generating that extra experience per turn. So the next thing that I probably want to do with Agatha, I could continue clearing nodes in this direction, but to be honest, the city-state is going to end up taking all of those, so I don't really care that much about them. This is also desert territory, so it's not as nice as other areas that I might have options to expand to. Let's look at the overall size of the map here. I did set it to far, so there should be, I guess, a decent amount of distance between me and my enemies. I'm going to probably focus on expanding in this direction, see if hopefully I can expand towards the enemies and maybe away from my city-state. So Agatha will come back this way. I will ignore the quarry that's down there for now, although I probably do want to go clear that eventually. Maybe that is something that I should do now. If the scout can make it over there in a timely manner, maybe that's something I'll do now. Let's go ahead and go to the next turn, making sure that, yeah, on this turn I won't get another population, although I could go ahead and just buy one. I have the Imperium for it. What spots could I get? I could grab a quarry right there. That's always really nice to have. Yeah, you know what? I think I might get that, or sorry, iron resource node, but putting a quarry on it. Yeah, I think I might grab that, because that's just going to help get the storehouse that much faster. And I am going to get more food on the next turn, but I will go ahead and splurge on population for now. We'll get another, we'll get that quarry, get that extra, all that extra production that comes with that. That drops the production of the storehouse. It is currently at 2 turns, so that's pretty dang good. And then we'll see if the population that I get from this is enough for me to get another tile on the next turn. I really do like spending the very, very early game Imperium on these. It's going to be a little bit of time before I'm ready to found an outpost. It's actually going to be, let's see, 8 more turns before I have the Nature Empire skill where it's going to make my cities, newly founded cities, get that extra population and found faster. So that's about 10 turns in is when I want to be ready to found my second city. So yeah, we'll maybe have Agatha keep moving in this direction for now, just because I want to make sure that she's in position to found a city when I'm ready for her to. Before I forget, let's take that food with the scout. Current population here in Flare Spire is 1. Current 3, growing in 3 turns. So take that and see how much that cuts down with 76 food. That takes it down to 1 turn, so it's another really cheap Imperium dump. If I want to grow that city faster, I may do that. Let's first send this scout out, probably to target that mana pickup and then whatever lies beyond it. Hopefully I can find some good territory over here or something worth founding a city in this area out here. As for this scout, for the moment, probably want to have him go down here so that Agatha can clear that quarry while she's here, because I don't know how long it's going to be before I have another army in this area, and I'm sure I probably will expand these cities' borders down here eventually. So we'll sacrifice a little bit of Agatha's movement this turn for the sake of going and taking out the chaplains that are sitting on that quarry. Move scout down, and then maybe the scout can poke around underground and see if there's anything cool down there. Seeker Arrows is done, so we'll be selecting a new research. I really like both of these. Dormant Enchantment is one that I basically have to have eventually, so I may go ahead and get that now. Spell Tempered Shield's also really good. Again, I don't think it's really necessary to lock spells when you're researching your first tome, unless you're down to like your last 2 and you want to guarantee that the next research cycles give you the 2 that you want. But since I have 3 research cycles left, I want Spell Tempered Shields, I want Sundering Blades, and I want Dormant Enchantment. Because I am a rune carver person, or whatever that bonus was, I can really stack on those enchantments, which is a really primary focus of my build. So Agatha's going to wait here for now. This leaves her pretty close to their own borders, so she can get moving in that other direction quite quickly. There are a couple units standing on that knowledge stash. I'm not really too worried about them for now. I'll probably have... Well, you know what? Agatha actually could deal with that, because she could go on the cliff, and the scout could activate the battles from the bottom of the cliff, including that gold mine there, which I need to clear. So yeah, this actually works out quite fine. I think I can clear this all out pretty quickly and still be more or less where I need to be by turn 10, provided my scout finds somewhere worth settling a city out there. So do I want to grow population on this turn? That's a good question. I think that probably grabbing territory before the city-state gets it is usually a pretty good call. But there's also free gold if I go in that direction that I could get right now, as well as a farm, which is going to help me grow a little faster. So I do think that we can afford to maybe spend 1 more to get the farm, which unlocks a lot of early game stuff, including... Well, actually, maybe I want to get another forester and get that granary. That might be better, because then I could go straight from the storehouse into a granary. You know what? I really like that idea. I'm going to save the Imperium. I'm going to save the Imperium because I'm not picking up a resource node. So I'll save the Imperium and just let the city grow naturally this time, because it is going to grow on this turn. And we'll go ahead and pick up probably a forester here so that Agatha can backtrack through this area a little bit faster. You do move faster in your own territory. So we'll grab that forester. That takes up some territory that the city-state might otherwise try to grab. And I will go in here and just go straight into the granary. We're just really maximizing growth. Now, if you get too carried away with this, city stability is now at neutral, meaning that I wouldn't really get any bonuses if I was at neutral alignment. So that's kind of why I like Fabled Hunters as opposed to the Ritual Cannibals option, is because you can just go really hard into growth early on anyway, and kind of ignore city stability until you're ready to start boosting it with things like taverns and public baths. So that's fine. I think that's okay. Also, I did forget to start building another unit here on the last turn. Let's go ahead and grab another Dusk Hunter. I should really be fleshing out my army, because it's not going to be long before these structures start spawning extra tough units to defend them. We'll keep going in this direction with the scout, probably primarily looking for an overworld area. I can see that there is indeed another nasty place near me full of enemies, infestation spawner. I think, let's see, what's sitting right there? With a small creature cage. Well, I'll take that, because that's going to give me one other unit that I can use to help scout things out. It's another haunted graveyard, so it might be another tough one. I may have gotten a little bit unlucky with my surrounding areas. The bandits are usually pretty easy to deal with. Haunted graveyards, not so much. Okay, I know for a fact that I'm going to want that military engineering skill. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up now. This is a very, very good upgrade. Outpost costs 50% less gold. This is going to get changed in an upcoming patch. It's going to be function a little bit differently. I think the outposts will give you a work camp instead of the palisade wall, and they will cost 25% less gold to build, but still a very good upgrade regardless. So I'm going to go ahead and take that now. Just drop the Imperium on it. That's fine. And then let's see, down here we're going to have Agatha. We use that scout to save as much movement as possible. This is a low-risk battle. Should be fine. We'll go ahead and manual it. It's just a few priests, so as long as I'm very aggressive in this one and get my melee units up in their face, there shouldn't be any real threat from this. Also, I'll try to remember this time that I actually have the scout in this fight that can do a little bit to help. They're not great, but they can do a little to help. So I'm going to, in this case, because it's primarily range units that I'm up against, line everyone up next to that shield so that he can give them that... Whoops, I didn't mean to do that with them, that's fine. So that he can give them that extra +2 resistance for everyone in that army right there. Very, very good. Also, I think with the scout, I'm going to go ahead and position the scout here in that bush to sort of obscure himself, make it harder for the enemy to hit me, but in a good position to hit them if I need to. Yeah, they're all going to go after the scout then. Okay, I see how it is. I will be moving the scout away from there and trying to close the distance on these guys. See, now if I had sprint, I could really make that guy pay. I could run right over there, hit him in the back, and just absolutely swarm them. I can't do that, but that's okay. We will do the best that we can regardless. In fact, I think I'm going to hold position and still force them to come to me. They seem to want to go after that scout, so I'm gonna move the scout back and just deny them that, because I want them to come out into this open area here so I can hit them with the archers and charge them with the range. And the moment that they're in range, I'm going to drop my spell to get that extra damage boost. Okay, this is a little better. They are not opening fire yet. They still seem to think they can run around and get that scout, but now I can get 2 units to them instead of just 1, including Agatha, so that's probably what the right play is here. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this now, give all those units a buff, all the main units in my group there, and then I'm going to send this spear forward here and have Agatha go charging into this guy and just give him a nice big chop. Ouch. And then maybe have the spears defend, force that guy to walk away, take an attack of opportunity, while in the meantime positioning my shield guys here to protect the pikes with extra defense and resistance, and also protecting these archers, which can sit back here and fire shots for free, basically. And then the other archer, I'm probably going to have him move, let's see, around that rock. It looks like if I move him here, it looks like this guy can't hit me without taking... Well, they are a single-shot unit, so they can reposition as necessary to hit me. This guy's stuck. He can't do anything right now, so I don't really need to worry about him. I am instead going to move this archer around a flanking position and have him defend. And then with my scout here, well, I actually wouldn't mind if one of those guys was willing to take a hit to just move and attack my scout. So I can just fire a couple 70% shots. It's not going to make a huge difference, but we can whittle away a little bit of health there. And yes, shield guys, I think I want them to defend. Unless I do, you know what? They're being protected by that shield, and I don't think... Yeah, you know what? They're being protected by my shield buddy. So I'm going to go ahead... Ooh, I landed the crit. Okay, that's pretty dang good. That's what I wanted. So they are now... Well, this guy's locked in place, and these guys are kind of locking him in place. So he can still move, but he'll take a hit. All right, they're going to go ahead and buff each other. It looks like that might be all they do. Except for that guy in the back. He's got a free... Nope, he's going to cast a buff too. Okay, I would say that was not the brightest move on the computer's part. Because now... Well, let's see. I can get... From here I can get 3 arrows, or I can get 90% from here. I think I'm gonna take the. I'll take the chance on the 70%. Normally 70 is about where I'm willing to go ahead and take those chances. Okay, we got grays and 2 full hits. That's fine. That's better than what I would have gotten with 2 full hits there. Then I can move these archers around, and if I position them correctly, yes, from there they can shoot twice. I'm going to start shooting at that guy in the back line. Mess him up a little bit. Okay, and now they're not looking so good. I'm going to have, let's see, I'm going to have the spear guys go ahead and stab him. I want to see what's full damage. Okay, those archers, if they do full damage, they will kill that guy. Okay, so that just makes this really easy. Spears kill him. Agatha kills him to get him out of the way of the archers. And the archers have a 100% chance to kill that guy. Well done. All right, cool. Got the Assassin's Dagger. Handy item. Percentage-based chance to instant-kill a unit based on how much health that unit has remaining. Agatha's not holding anything else, so we may as well, although I will probably normally find it better to just use her axe. I like putting these on, like, a unit that's primarily a ranged attacker, a bow or a mage. So, I will probably switch that later on. But that is cleared now, so I don't have to worry about getting down there to do that. Agatha's army can move up here, and be prepared to take out one of these. Now, I think Agatha's army may have to stick around here for a minute in order for the scout to have time to move around and get to both of these. What I might want to do is either hurry production of that Dusk Hunter or get one more scout. I think... Well, I definitely need... Oh, hey, I've already finished that granary. That was fast. Oh, that's probably from clearing the quarry. Okay. Well, this is really good. This lets me segue into kind of the next thing that I want to focus on, which is research. Because this is a long-term build, research is extremely, extremely important. I actually want to start looking at places to put the sun spires that my culture can get, which gain bonus research for research posts that are adjacent to them. This might be a prime spot for one, where that forester is right now, because I could get, if I can manage to clear this eventually, I could incorporate that Archon blood into my empire, and which is something I'm definitely going to want anyway, and then put a research post here and here. I guess in order for adjacency purposes, I would actually have to put the Sunspire here, but that's all in the future. We'll talk about adjacency and stuff moving forward. One thing I should have definitely done earlier that I forgot to do, a core part of my strategy, is summoning those copper golems. I find these guys to be very good because they evolve into iron golems, so I definitely am going to want some of those. What I'm going to do is start summoning one of them. I'm actually going to put the Light Seeker in here and switch him over. And then actually maybe even cancel that archer for now. I do want one more horse because I forgot that I don't necessarily need more archers right now if I can summon more units and level them up. Besides, these archers are not the archers I will be using in the long term, so they will eventually become outdated. Definitely, yes, absolutely should have summoned that copper golem the moment I had a bonus supply of mana, though. That was a mistake on my part. So let's make sure we're not missing anything. Agatha does not have any levels. Okay, we're good. So we can end the turn there. I may hurry production on that scout, but we'll see how far this guy can move, because I really don't want Agatha's army sitting around here any longer than she absolutely has to. Let's see, it's 80 gold to hurry his production. We could wait probably one more turn. I'm pretty sure the scout would be able to reach that. Okay, that's my plan. This scout's going to move to go down there and trigger that battle. Agatha's army will be joined in because they're on top of that cliff, and then I will get the research. But the big thing that I want... Ooh, but there's sheep over there too. That would be another really nice thing to pick up, if my borders can get to them before the city-states do. Getting a little greedy here, trying to grab up as much from that city-state borders as I can. But the sheep would be really, really nice. So I might plant another forester here and then maybe a farm on the sheep. Let's see who's on it. Pretty easy battle. Just a Glade Runner and a couple Spirit Hawks. Spirit Hawks are not very strong or scary. You know what? Yeah, let's go for that. So Agatha's army is going to stick around for just a little bit longer than I initially was expecting. I am going to have that copper golem to help out. I suppose she could sit right here. Maybe if I take the city's borders in this direction, yeah, that would be smarter. Go this way, pick up like a farm there or another forester, and then, yeah, she could loop around faster because she'd be staying in her own territory. So Agatha's going to camp right here for now. This leaves her in range of all of these battles, and I could grow population a little bit more to go ahead and make sure she stays in that range. I might do that depending on whether she takes any significant amount of damage from the upcoming battles. I'm also going to summon that copper golem onto her right away so it can start getting XP just from being in her army, and progress towards leveling up to an iron golem. I could grab another one, but what I think I'm going to do instead is get the Seeker arrows to benefit the archers that I already have. Dormant enchantment's still in the works. That's not a hugely important one for right now immediately, but it will be important later on. Empire development skill is available. This allows me to get bonus relations with city-states for clearing infestations. I don't need that right now. I can't clear the infestation that's closest to me, which is actually going to be a massive nuisance. Let's see, that's a creature cage, that's right. So I am going to grab this with the scout. Get an Inferno puppy. He levels up from, he can evolve into an Inferno hound or a Hellhound or whatever those are. We'll take the reward. You can get definitely a lot better stuff out of those, but not the worst thing for sure. I'll probably will use it to scout for now, I think, because finding an area to place a city out here is going to be hugely important. As I can see, there is a pursuer there. I want to stay out of their borders, but see, yep, see, there's, oh my gosh, there's 2 dragons in there already. Oh, this is going to be a very interesting game. Okay, let's move this guy over here. I want to keep him moving up. I think I will probably put my second city somewhat near this infestation so that I can use it as a launching point to clear out the infestation. There is a tower over there, so I think I will run with him and get that. In the meantime, the Inferno puppy can run more to the southwest. He's going to have to cut around that gold mine there. There's a keep out here. That's a research post. Very useful. If I can find other magic materials in this area, this would actually make this a pretty decent spot to put down a city. Oh, that's going to be ugly. I really don't want to deal with that. And I got a feeling that around here is probably also right near where I would want to put a city. So that's a little ugly, but I'll figure it out. Make sure I didn't miss anything. City is still has all its production, no new population yet. We can end the turn here and let the population grow naturally for the time being. Now what I'm going to definitely want to do, oh, we got an offer with these guys, okay. He's got a Wand of Inversion that he could trade. Jewels in exchange. Do I actually want the Wand of Inversion? What does it do? Removes all negative status effects from the target ally and grants a random positive status effect for each negative one removed. An interesting item. Perhaps not very useful. I think I don't want this at all. I definitely don't want to lose knowledge per turn. I don't want to dump 167 gold on an item that I probably won't get a lot of mileage out of. And I definitely don't want to spend my Imperium right now, so unfortunately this is just going to come in as a negative event for me. I'm going to lose some allegiance with these guys. Doesn't really matter. It'll get maxed out eventually. I'm not normally too worried about bothering the city-states. Okay, their borders did expand to grab the conduit. That's good because I really primarily want these sheep. That conduit doesn't really interest me at all. I kind of figured I wouldn't be getting that. So I will be focusing mostly on getting those sheep. I can initiate this battle now. I'm going to go ahead and do that with the scout. Before I do that, I think it is time to grow these borders, this city's borders once more. So I'm going to attract population, and I'm going to go ahead and grab maybe, let's see, what did that city just finish building? I could get the estate hall if I build another, no, that requires 2 farms, so I can't do that yet. Could go for the Atrium of Light for that extra Imperium. That's probably the right play. I think I'll go for the Atrium of Light. In the meantime, I do need a farm, so I probably will make this a farm, at least for now. That can always be changed later, but for the moment, I think probably need at least one farm. And that'll help with growth too, which will help with getting those sheep faster, which will help with growth even more. So you can really, really grow your city pretty fast. Now, my city's already not very happy because I've grown it so quickly. It's kind of outgrowing itself. The tavern requires 2 farms, so what I'll do is I'll get another farm on the next growth upgrade, and then build the tavern with the boosted production. And I could actually attract population already to do that, but I think we can let the Atrium of Light finish first, because that's going to be getting me +1 province annex range, which I actually need if I'm going to be able to reach out to get those sheep, because right now I can only reach out 2. I can't actually get the sheep yet, so I actually need that Town Hall Atrium before I can get the next population growth. But that'll finish the same turn that my population grows, so I actually don't need to spend more Imperium on that right now. Now for these guys, we'll be doing we may be able to sneak away. Could we sneak away with an auto combat on this one? Let's see what it says. That's more damage on that guy than I wanted to take right now, because we've got multiple battles here that all have to happen in relatively quick succession. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this my way. It's just a single archer. If we focus, he's a tier 3, but if we focus fire him, he'll go down. He's just an archer. Just a glade runner. The spirit birds I find not very dangerous. They just don't do enough damage to really make much of a difference, in my opinion. You just have to watch out for their flanks, because they can fly. I'm going to move down here, where I feel like I have a little bit more of an open area to shoot through, probably between this building and this building, and bring the scout over too. So just kind of a haphazard early battle movement. And I'm just going to end turn there. Okay, they're kind of doing that cautious advance thing that the computer really likes to do, which is fine. It gives me time to set up in an advantageous position. I'll put the spears here. Archers in the back, of course. I do want that shield guy in the middle, so we're going to move Agatha, put him in the middle, and actually what I could do is keep Agatha maybe more on the flank. Yeah, I kind of like that. I'll keep her on the flank and move the pike up here so he gets benefits. That's my copper golem right there. And move these guys there. The birds might try charging in, although I don't think it would be very wise for them to do so, but they might. If they do, I will just awaken Inner Radiance and counterattack really freaking hard. Let's see, is the scout in any danger there? I'm gonna leave the scout kind of back here, just out of range of the birds, so if any of them try to fly around or behind, the scout can harass them. But this seems pretty good here. He's gonna move up and take a couple shots, sundering defense on Agatha, okay. That'll mark her as a target, so he's gonna do bonus damage to her, be more likely to hit her, but I can just run her away. Doesn't really matter. And with the birds charging in by themselves, they're going to die very, very quickly and easily. Now this guy has an advantage hitting Agatha now, and she actually isn't going to do a ton of damage to him because he is a tier 3 and has a decent amount of health. But he's already used his mark on her, so I'm just going to deny him the benefits of that and move her away. You can see how much damage he would do to her. That's a lot of damage if he does full hits every time. I just don't want to deal with that, so instead I simply won't. We'll move the scout up, get a couple free hits on those birds. Actually, may not even need to use Awaken during this battle. We'll see. I'm going to shoot these birds with them. Shoot these birds with these guys now. Actually, I am kind of thinking maybe I do want to use Awakened. Because it is going to be helpful for outshooting that guy. So yeah, I'm gonna use that before I fire off any more shots. I got a 100% chance to hit him. Let's do it. Takes him out of commission, and the copper golem can pretty easily kill a bird. He is a pike after all. They have that damage bonus. Shield guy stays on defense. Agatha moves back, and Archer comes to me. Hopefully. Yep, he's gonna run right out in front of everybody. Perfect. Okay. Pretty good odds to hit him from here, but he could be better. Why is actually, you know what, I'm curious why he isn't. Oh, the archer has quick reflexes. Okay, so it's lowering my chance to hit him by 30%. That is coming from his race swarming heartlings. Okay. Scions of evil, prolific swarming halflings. Sounds terrifying. Looks terrifying too. We'll move a little closer to him. I'm going to be charging him anyway because he's, you know, now... Actually, Agatha could... You know, if I can make a path for Agatha, she could charge and get a nice big hit on him. I don't think I need to, though. I think the archers will be sufficient combined with these melee guys. I can move up here. Most likely not going to hit him, but as long as I don't have a unit adjacent to him with this archer, I don't actually really have to worry about missing. Oh, look, I got a crit, so it worked out for me. Yeah, if you have like a 20% chance to hit, you generally don't want to take that unless you know for sure you're going to hit. If you have another unit standing nearby, because you could hit your own unit and do damage to yourself. You don't want that. But now the archers have an 80% chance to hit this guy, so they can soften him up, and melee can run in and do the rest of the hard work. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, there's a crit. And just like that, he's gone. No need to take that amount of damage that I did from the auto combat. Horn of Plenty, that is an amazing item to get really early in the game. And I got a bunch of extra food, too. The extra food actually... You know what? Maybe I'll just hurry the Town Hall when it gets down to... when those 2 turns expire. I could hurry production of the Town Hall if I have a little extra gold, and then expand the borders. That extra food is going to cause my borders to be ready to expand sooner, but the next expansion needs to go somewhere that I can't reach without the Town Hall upgrade. So we're going to move the scout back. Actually, we can just actually carry on with what he was doing. He's not damaged. Agatha's army can take a turn to heal. They can actually start moving away now, because as long as they're within 3 spaces of the next thing I need to clear, they're fine. So they can actually sit here, or maybe even here, actually. This would be even a little better. And I'm going to have that other Outrider done in 2 turns, which actually I don't need as badly as I did a moment ago, but still good for exploring. Oh, there's a Tranquility pool up here, too. Researching spells costs 10% knowledge. That would be a very nice thing to get early on. That actually looks entirely doable for Agatha's army. Yeah, that is a battle I could manage. That's probably worth doing. To get that 10% knowledge boost so early in the game, that's probably worth doing. I know I keep delaying my second city positioning, but maybe I'll find one out here. Maybe I'll find a good spot out here somewhere that I could stick a city in, instead of down where the Inferno Hound is running. I got a scout right here that can check it out, so... Ooh, yeah, I think I've got to go for that. Because if I can get that in my territory early on, that's going to pay off dividends in the long run. Yeah, let's do that. Let's move Agatha's army. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. We'll move her to the farm for now so she can still participate in that battle. What turn is it? It's turn 7. Okay, I'm just not going to get the outpost up quite as quickly as I wanted. But I think for a Tranquility pool, I'm willing to take that trade. Also, Agatha did level up again. I am now going to get her sprint, because that is so incredibly useful, and definitely want to give her that Horn of Plenty, so that she's going to be healing all the units in her army a little faster. The Horn of Plenty, for those who don't know, that's +5 healing for units in your army on every world map turn. Considering that healing abilities don't provide passive actual healing in between turns, that's totally worth getting. Also, I forgot to cast my enchantment. I've got Seeker Arrows ready to go. Let's go ahead and get that up and running. So now all my archers have Seeker Arrows. Perfect. Unit has +1 range. That is awesome. Okay, next turn. We're gonna, let's see, we got the scout. He can move around. He can maybe get behind those guys. Oh no, wait, I did want to grab that tower. Don't know how much it's gonna actually help me see, because it's kind of close to the edge of the map, but I'll get it anyway. Oh, there is a magic item over here. Okay, that's worth noting. I would really like to find a magic item close to this Gust Keep, like another one, to make for a good Sun Shrine spot. And I did. There's a conduit down here. Okay, that's actually really good. And a Fire Forge stone? Okay, this is where my next city is going to go. Well, not exactly there, but that's going to be a Sun Shrine, that spot right there, because it's touching a fire. Oh, it's not actually touching the conduit. Oh, that's disappointing. I was hoping the conduit's borders touched that, or the Mana Stone. Still, not a bad spot by any means. Still touching a Gust Keep, which counts as a research post. Would have been nicer if I could get all three, but, you know, you'll take what you can get in this game. Anyway, little puppy can keep moving down this way. Now, this is all clearable. The Gust Keep probably is clearable soon-ish. Oh, there's another infestation. Okay, I really have to do something about these. There is a brigand camp down. Oh, it's just a brigand camp. Okay, Agatha can handle that. That is perfectly manageable. Bone dragons, not so much, but a brigand camp, we can deal with that. So yeah, my second city definitely going to be in this area somewhere. We'll see what I can spot from the tower, and then I'll probably have the scout come down and clear that out, or fill in that map area there. Dormant enchantment, 2 turns left for that. Do I want to get another copper golem now? I probably do, but I'm a little tight on the mana right now. And don't really have a way of getting more anytime soon. I think I've got enough in surplus that it's probably okay, but I'm going to hold off on it. I don't want to go into the negatives on my resources just yet. Definitely will be grabbing another copper golem for whenever I pick up a second hero. I really like having just an iron golem in every army. They're such a great tanky defense unit. Okay, this is looking pretty good so far. I think my spawn is fine, except for the dang haunted graveyards everywhere. My goodness, that's going to take a lot of firepower to punch through those. Fortunately, as high culture, I do have lots of ways of getting magic, or getting spirit damage in particular. Oh, they got a hunter spider hidden in there that I didn't notice initially. That's going to make this a little bit harder, and it says safe battle, but these guys are going to summon more units. I got a feeling auto is not going to go so well on this one. You know, actually better than I was expecting. I might take that. Let's see, but I got another battle to fight on this turn and another one on the turn immediately following. I think I have to retry this. I think I can get by with less damage. And Agatha really needs... Well, let's see. Hang on. Let me think about this. Because if this guy... He could do this battle on the next turn. But this battle, no matter what, has to wait until the turn after. I can't actually click on that to see what's on there. We'll retry it. We'll retry this one. Now, I don't really like forests, which is funny. As an archery-focused character, you think archers, elves, forests, but they actually get in the way early game. Later on, it's not going to matter. Obscuring stuff is absolutely not going to matter. Again, this is a very long-term archer build. So in the early game, archers not actually going to be that useful. In fact, you may not even want to rely on them as your primary source of damage. Why is it pathing me through something that is I know is distracting? Oh, because oh, never mind. Copper golems. They're a machine. They just don't care. I can stand on that. No problems. Iron golems too. Very, very handy. We'll move these guys up and maybe leave the scout just behind. I'm going to probably want to get another awakening burst off. And I probably should have left those guys adjacent because that's a charge unit. He could be a little bit of a nuisance if he charges in on this turn. We'll see. They may position rather than just outright charging. Yeah, they're positioning first. Okay, good. This gives me a chance to set up. Matter of fact, I'm going to try... I don't like all these trees right here. They're going to get in the way. I think I'm going to try to back up and get them to come out into this little glade here where the distracting flowers are. Maybe they'll be dumb enough to run through them. Because right now, I'm not worried about losing a unit in this battle, but I am worried about losing health. That's something you really have to think about in this game because it takes so long to heal. So I will be moving, let's see, the pike's down here. I actually think this setup is fine. I can do this, and on the next turn, I will probably get Awakening. Okay, unleash the beast, that's fine. Okay, this is fine. Perfect. They're charging in. All right, this is good. Okay, now, what's really nice is that archers now, with Seeker missiles and the Awaken bonus, so Seeker arrows and the Awaken bonus, can shoot absurdly far. Now, you can see I only have a 5% chance to hit that guy. So, it's not the best yet, but it will be eventually. And at Legendary rank, they're going to have even one more range. So it gets really crazy really fast. Now let's see, with Agatha, now that I have that handy sprint, I can actually go chop that Wild Speaker right in the back with her giant battle axe. But I think I'm going to try to deal with this guy first. I definitely don't want that thing charging anyone and doing too much damage. These guys can single-handedly kill that spider on their own pretty much. I could move the scout here, which I think I'm going to do to save firepower for the archers. I'll do a little bit of damage to make sure these guys land the kill on that thing. Yeah, I think that's fine. That's a good move, I think. The archers only have 50% to hit that charge unit, so we may have to hope they get a little lucky. But the Awaken bonus is increasing their accuracy, so that helps tremendously. Let's go ahead and just stab him. Okay, got immobilized. Doesn't really matter. Don't need him to move on this turn anyway. Agatha does not even need to sprint to do this. She can basically lock that guy down now, no problem, which is exactly what I'm going to do with her. A nice, big, meaty swing there. And that guy is pretty much out of commission. He certainly can't move away from her without taking substantial damage. Now with the archers here, let's see, I could move up. I am getting a little bit of a damage reduction, or a chance to hit reduction here that I'm not really thrilled about. I'm going to move these guys to the side and see if that... No, it's still 50%. Okay, so what I can do is I can move up and increase my odds to 70% with both, and I think I'm fine with that, as long as we keep that Overwhelm Tactics buff active. Okay, 70%, a little more comfortable with. I can land 2 full hits, they're dead. Oh, I crit? Okay, that's perfect. All right, great. And that puts this spider in a very bad position, because he can now just get stabbed by everyone. I can actually goad his retaliation strike onto these guys, who have a shield, allowing the pikemen... Actually, the pikemen may have been better off anyway, killing the spiders, because they have... they, I think, have blight resistance. Yeah, they have a lot of blight resistance, so I actually probably should have let them take that hit. But that's okay. It just means they don't really have to worry about anything in this battle. And that's it for my turn. These guys want to get that poison flank attack. That'll do a decent little chunk of... Oh, they graze. Never mind. Sucks to be you, I suppose. And a counterattack kills the spider easily. This guy has no choice but to defend. We'll deal with him in a moment, but first, let's go take care of this guy out here. So he's hiding in the bushes. Can Agatha actually reach him if she was to just go full on in that direction? No, she would not be able to. So I'm going to surround this guy with all the melee that I can. May as well just start poking him. Can't quite reach him with these guys. They're still immobilized anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I will use these guys here and move archers. You know what? In this case, let's just damage him. The archers are more of a risk here because of their chance of missing and hitting one of my own units, so it's not really worth using them. I can move them closer, certainly, but even if I'm standing right next to him, it's going to be 40%, so I'm not going to waste the time. We'll just kill this guy. And then end turn. He shouldn't be able to move, because he's going to take a lot of damage. Oh, he can. He can just barely get out of there. I thought he would be locked in. Okay, so he's going to do a little bit more damage, which is annoying, but it's only one hit. So he fumbled the attack and grazed. So only 1 damage. No big deal. Go away. Okay, easy, easy. Good stuff. And there's 43 knowledge. That finished off Dormant Enchantment. Sundering Blades just popped up, so I'm going to grab that next, really hoping Shields comes after Sundering Blades. It should. I think it should. I've never had an issue getting these first tome picks that I wanted before, as long as I go into Tome of Enchantment first thing. I can go ahead and start casting Dormant Enchantment Probably worth doing. It'll give Sundering Blades to my Copper Golems once they're ready to use Sundering Blades. Maybe I will hold off on that until Sundering Blades is researched, because until it is, it doesn't do me any good and it would just be wasted mana upkeep. Okay, guys, so in the next episode, I'm going to come back and we'll deal with this. We'll clear out that Tranquility pool up here, provided nastier stuff doesn't spawn it in the next turn. And then we'll come deal with a bandit camp. So there should be a lot of action coming in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed that first one. I am planning to record another one today. I'm going to try to get back under roughly a 2 episodes a week schedule, maybe more if I'm feeling good. I'm having a ton of fun with this game, so I think that I might get just excited and want to play more every now and then. But for the moment, that's going to have to be a wrap for this first episode. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. I will be back very soon. We'll see you all in the next one. Special thanks to all my Patreon supporters, including Tier 3 supporters Blitz, Braden, Dawson Horner, Jimbro, Roderick, Sarah Feingold, and Tibby and Army. Thanks so much, everybody.